So this is going to be a quick video to discuss the very basics of graphing. We're not going to graph any equations yet. That'll be in the next video. But I want to talk about the Cartesian plane. It's also known as the XY plane, the rectangular coordinate system. So we have drawn here, we have a little, looks like a little compass. I have an x-axis and a y-axis. The x-axis is horizontal and the y-axis is vertical. These are basically number lines, and we're familiar with number lines. The x-axis and y-axis intersect at what we call a 90-degree angle, which is where the rectangular coordinate system name comes from. And these axes separate this graph, so to speak, or the plane. They separate it into quadrants. There's 4 of them. We start at the top right for quadrant 1. We go counterclockwise to quadrant 2, quadrant 3 on the bottom, and quadrant 4 on the bottom right. In the rectangular coordinate system, or in this Cartesian plane, points exist. And what we do is we can look at the graph. If we want, we could put tick marks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put a 5 there just for good measure. Tick marks going up and down if we like. If I plot a point right there in quadrant 1, where my x value is 2 and my y value is 3, our points go from x comma y, and it looks like that. So points, x comes first, y comes second. We have parentheses and a comma. And so if I plot the point 2, 3, where x is 2 and y is 3, that point exists right there. And I can label it by putting the point next the parentheses and numbers, the ordered pair. Okay, that's another term for this. This is an ordered pair. You can go the other way. There are negative values. Let's see here. That would be -5 right there, and -5 there. If I am in quadrant 2, and I plot a point right there, that would be my x value is -3 and my y value is 1. And we can keep going. And get rid of those so it's not so cluttered. If I'm in quadrant 1, my x value is always going to be positive and my y value is always going to be positive. If I'm in quadrant 2, my x value is going to be negative, my y value is going to be positive. If I'm in quadrant 3, both x and y are going to be negative. If I'm in quadrant 4, my x will be positive because it's to the right of the y-axis, and my y will be negative because below the x-axis. Sometimes points exist on an axis. And if I look at the point, oh, I misnumbered that, didn't I? There's a 5 there. If I look at 4, 0, this is not in either quadrant 1 or quadrant 4. It's on an axis. It's on a border. It's on a boundary. So if it lies on an axis, then it's not in a quadrant, but points do exist on axes. There's a special point right in the middle here, and that would be where the 2 axes meet, and that is at 0, 0, and that is called the origin. So we're going to need this terminology when we're graphing equations. We're going to start with linear equations in 2 variables, and then we're going to move on to quadratics eventually. And throughout your mathematical career, you're going to see all kinds of crazy fun things. But for right now, this is it for the intro to graphing part. I'll see you in the next video.